Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you're listening to the Everblack Podcast.
Hey, human skull, this is odorous from Guam.
Going to the Fear Factory.
This is George Corshunter Fisher.
This is Jasmine Double Drop.
This is Wade from Our Last Enemy.
Magnificent Suicidal Tendencies.
Hey, this is Wednesday 13.
This is Rex from Kill Devil Hill.
This is Gary Lee from Sepultura. You're listening to Everblack Podcast.
Awesome, bro. My name's Nev anyway. We spoke a very long time ago.
Okay, cool. I really dig the Masters of the Universe He-Man stuff on your right shoulder there.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's a bit of a mismatch here. This whole room is full of different things, but that's.
Are you a fan? Do you like the new Netflix series?
You know what? I loved it. Did you?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen like five episodes. I'm just up to the bit where their evil Lynn is helping them out, and they're in they them again. So I think it's fantastic, and I'm really confused why people are pissed off with it because it's great, man.
I know, I fucking love it, and like I'm with you. Like I think it's really, really good. You know, everyone's giving Kevin Smith the shit because but you know what, man? I think. I don't want to spoil it. I'm just going to leave it there. You got one to go, man, and then you're just going to be like,
it's the best. Cool.
It is, man. It is really, really good. Really good.
Nice.
But
nice.
Where are you at? Where are you at in this big wide world, my friend?
So I just moved back to the UK from France. I've basically been kind of living all over the place for 6-7 years now, in and out of the UK. And it's, so back in what I think is supposed to be home. I'm not sure. I don't quite remember. So it's interesting to rediscover it, especially at the moment when things are fucked. You know, the world is so bizarre. So
Tell me about it.
Getting to learn what it's like. What part of Australia are you in?
I'm on the Gold Coast. I don't know if you've ever been to the Gold Coast.
My dad used to live on just outside of Byron Bay, so
Oh shit.
Want some more time there because I don't really know that part at all. I know Sydney, I know Melbourne. I was going to try to move to Melbourne, but that's all kind of fallen apart. But you know, I've still got the rest of my life, so maybe I will still get out that way. But fuck the house prices. So,
I don't know.
where to start.
We built this house. So,
Mate,
well, not I didn't build it, mate. I can't even, you know.
I get you. I understand.
But it worked out. It worked out. But that's cool. Is your dad still down this way?
Actually, weirdly enough, he left and then moved to France. And I didn't move to France because he was there. It just happened. And then he left France and moved back to the UK. So I'm following him. What I'm really hoping is he's going to move back to Australia and then I'll end up there because that's the way life is going at the moment.
Well, we're on lockdown again. Hooray.
Yes. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I don't know. We were cruising. We were going really good for a while.
Yeah, you were, man.
You know, a little bubble, and then I don't know. Someone called Delta.
You're doing the right thing, but it's hard, isn't it, man?
Yeah, I know.
At least it's winter where you are.
It
would
is.
suck to be doing this in like December. Even like actually more February. It'd be just the worst, man, for you guys. But
In the heat.
yes. Extensive heat.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know all about it. You've been down here. You know.
So I used to live in China, so I've seen some wild things, and then I've never seen cockroaches that fucking fly at you. You know, it's just insane. Australia's got the best and the worst of everything.
We do.
It's wonderful though, and it's a place where I've never felt so alive as when I've been there. So I'm looking forward to getting back eventually when we come out the other side of whatever this is.
That was one of my questions. You know, it's been a little while. So, I mean, it's hard to say right now. I mean, no one can really say. Everyone keeps saying, because I mean, everyone wants to know when bands are going to be touring back here, but it's you just we can just keep hope. That's all we can do, dude.
I reckon you're looking at a good 12 months, 18 months, seriously, for an international touring scene to start up again. But who knows? And we're just going to have to be flexible. We're going to have to embrace it when it comes, but not expect it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good news, though, we still have, some epic online shows and DVDs. Segue. Of course, this new TesseracT, Portals, man, August 27 it comes out, and it's so ambitious, man. It looks incredible from everything I've seen. I didn't get to see it when it came out, but I've seen the clips and I've listened to it a few times at work today, and it's incredible. This thing it must have been such a massive task because it's a big cinematic.
It was intense, man. It's 6 weeks of pre-production plus pre-production. I'm going to say the whole thing definitely took 6 months to put together. But I think that shows. I think there's so much care that's gone into it and so much thought. But we also managed to luckily not be the first wave of these things. You had some bands that did some really quite wonderful shows just before we did our one. So like if you check out Behemoth, they had a crazy show in an old what's the word? Deconsecrated church. I think that's the right word. I can't remember. And it's beautiful. It's awesome. And that led us to really realize you can have ambition with this. It can look like a film. It can be something else. And I think as a result, we changed our perspective on it entirely. We really came at this as thinking at it as a film rather than a video of a live show. So it really helped us by working within that box or screen. We really found that there was a different scope, a different perspective, and we could adhere to these lofty ambitions of creating some weird form of art rather than it just being a CCTV of a gig, which I've seen that happen a few times, and it's really disappointed me. It's a shame. But I'm hoping that people won't walk away from watching this with anything but, what the fuck did I just watch going through their minds? I really want them to be in a position where they go, mate, I don't know how that was done. Cool. Let's do it again. That would be really, really something.
Has it changed much from the original stream? Like, has it changed much? Have you added more for the DVDs and Blu-rays than the original stream?
Sorry, my connection cut. We haven't added, we haven't extended it at all or cut it down. No, it's the final stream output. But we did add, there's like an extended behind the scenes featurette. We added some other stuff as well that's on the special edition bonus content. And also just putting in a lot of work into the content of the packaging. Like there's a booklet that comes with I say booklet, it's a massive 48-page book with, I think the liner notes there must be about 5,000 words, 6,000 words there. So yeah, I sat down with a lot of coffee and wrote a lot about this and explored not just the concept, but how cool it was to work with the people we worked with and their input and how they changed it. And also like the story of what it was like to be called up by your drummer 6 weeks before the show and him say, I can't do this, man, because I'm stuck in the US. I don't want to leave where I am, which is, he wanted to be with his family.
Yeah.
Which was fine. So it was quite a drama to then get another drummer in and get all this still going because we were too far down the track to stop. We just had to keep running with this. And it was interesting, like the conversations we had, we were like, well, can we green screen him in? I was like, no, that's not going to work, is it? That's going to look really bad. Can we do something with virtual production for him? So no. This has got to be a real drummer right in front of us. And I mean, we were so lucky that we knew Mike Mallion from Monuments to make that happen, because he's a beast.
He is.
And he's a happy beast, though. That's what's really cool. He's so upbeat, positive. I'm not sure it would have worked with anybody else. The connection between us and Monuments runs deep. There's not just toured together,
Yeah.
but we share band members from a band that preceded both Tesseract and Monuments called Fell Silent. They were Ackle and John Brown were in a band together, so the history is long and intertwined. So it was really cool to have Mike on board for that. It felt like it was something that was perfect placement, if you know what I mean. He was the right guy at the right time, and it was a joy to work with him.
You know what I loved about it was that there's that video that was on your YouTube of Jay and him just hanging out and just jamming on the stuff and just talking. I like
cool
that.
They could share that. I think it was really good of Jay to be so open, and I'm glad that their friendship, which preceded everything we were doing, actually it enhanced the show. So Jay was there in some form of in spirit almost. He was there as not just guidance because he wrote those drum parts, but he was encouraging Mike so much and helping him perform. So I think that was really cool. It was nice to see that.
Absolutely. I like hearing stories like that, instead of, well, I can't do it, then no one else is going to, it's cool.
Jay must have been feeling rough, he must have really felt like shit over it. But at the same time, he stood up and he manned up, as we say. He definitely brought his A game to the table to help Mike.
Yeah.
And Mike just smashed it. He really, he made us look bad.
It sounds incredible. Like, it sounds really good too. Like, I've been listening, as I said, I've just had it in my little headphones at work, and just, man, what a journey. That's one hell of a set list too. How does that tie into because it's got a bit of a narrative thing to it as well. Did you go, okay, well, here are the songs, these are what we're doing, and you tied a story around all that? Is that how it worked?
No, I mean, the story was fixed. It's based on the journey that the character we introduced with our first EP in 2010. Very few people have the physical copy, but when you open that, there's a picture in there of a boy walking into the distance on a sand dune. I must have created that in 2009. It's nuts to think that I could then build the story that connects that picture and the final picture that you see in Sonder, our last album. They're the same character. They've been going on this long journey. And so the idea of the narrative was to fill in the gaps, how the guy got from where he was with Concealing Fate to how he got to where he currently is with Sonder. And it's nice to have closed that by fleshing it out, by realizing the long journey, as it's called. These two pictures are Long Journey 1, Long Journey 2. So it's really cool to have been afforded that. But the set list was built. We knew that we were going to include Of Matter as the starting point. That felt perfect in every sense. It just resonated with the beginning idea, the story idea of moving, taking your first steps, but also taking your first steps through this weird, almost bead curtain of energy that we created with the portal, and having that character just made sense that Altered State was a good way to bring this in. And then the way that it basically threaded through, intertwined in between the story, was we tried to build a 20-minute section that would reflect each step. But at the same time, I didn't want the concept to overrule the content. So we did definitely pull some things out here and there that would have been better for the concept at different points in the set, but it wouldn't have worked so well as a show if we did that.
Yeah.
For example, we put Tourniquet, which I believe is being released as a video today at 4 p.m. Well, that's going to be pretty early in the morning for you guys. Tomorrow morning for you. We put that in on Act 2 as a refresher rather than a concept point, because Of Matter worked where it was for the concept. Concealing Fate works where it is for the concept.
Yeah.
But then adding Tourniquet at the end of Concealing Fate was more of a little bit of ginger in between courses. But visually, wow. That's one of the things that I'm most proud about in my musical career. Man. To have shared that design concept with our laser and laser video and lighting technician, and for them to come together and really raise the game, that was something else. It was such a joy to see that on screen for the first time when it all came together in the post, and when we had the recording and everything done. It was one of those moments where you're like, this is cool. And funny, we were talking about Kevin Smith, because Tourniquet reminds me of the scene from Jay and Silent Bob, where they're doing a heist and they try to steal something, and it's all the Clit Commander videos. The concept of these beams and setting off setting off a trigger alarm. It's kind of the same like that, but it's it's hopefully not funny like that. But
no. But
constantly reminds me of that, and it's the scene where they've just had fast food in their van, and the girl is cartwheeling through these energy beams, laser beams, alarm to avoid being setting off an alarm, and she stops and she farts, and it's such a weird thing. It's like, damn it, the little creep was right. It does give girls farts, but I digress massively. But I just thought that was a little
it's good one.
How my brain works, and it's
mate. I listen to a lot of Kevin Smith. I don't know about you. I go down the Kevin's. Hey, the Batman Beyond, Fat Man Beyond, I should say. I listen to it weekly. I go right down that rabbit hole. But I haven't seen that movie in a while. I think it's time I go back and rewatch that.
His reboot of Jay and Silent Bob.
I liked it.
I don't know what it is. Is it just the same movie? I'm really confused. But,
pretty much, but I liked it.
Ooh, well, I mean, the first one was great, so why not? Let's do it again.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. But hey, we
characters ever, Cockknocker.
Oh,
what the hell? Mark Hamill just.
Mark Hamill.
Yes, he's the man. So cool.
I'm guessing you're a Star Wars dude.
Yeah, I am for sure. I've pretty much read everything that's been like all the novels that were released as well, which is. I look back and think, Jesus, how did I do that? Why did I do that? That's insane. But Star Wars is great, man, and the way that Disney Plus has just ran with the new world of Star Wars is amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing where that's going. I never thought that Star Wars could be so dramatic as it was with Rogue One.
Yeah.
It's one of the fascinating films that doesn't even need to be in the Star Wars universe, but the fact that it has such a scope and nostalgia added to it. I think it's an incredible story, an incredible movie, and I'm really excited to see where they can go with things like that in the future.
So I'm guessing you Mando, been watching all the Mandos?
Man, how cool was that? Especially the last scene of the last episode.
Yeah, it's the best. There he is. He's up here. There he
goes.
Oh,
nice one.
Yeah,
excellent.
I got Mando up here, and I told you it doesn't make sense. But I loved it. Yeah, and that last scene, dude, Mark Hamill. Holy
That
shit.
was a surprise, wasn't it?
Spoilers, but it's like a
Oh
year
yeah,
ago.
you guys will enjoy it when you see it.
We're from the future. But yeah. So hey, it's always good talking to someone else who's into this kind of stuff as much as I am, and the heavy stuff too. But
Story, they're just life affirming. It's so cool.
oh, it's the best. It's the best. It's music and the nerdy shit goes hand in hand for me. But of course, I mean, let's talk about how interactive your band is as well. I mean, I don't think anyone does it as much as you guys. You're very interactive with the fans, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's people like Trivium, especially Matt Heafy from Trivium. He does a lot of Twitch streaming. Jay and Dan, drummer and vocalist, they do loads of Twitch streaming. And as a result, the band is going to launch a Twitch channel at the end of August as well.
Oh, cool.
And we're really excited by that because it's a case of this is a creative medium that we can explore. We can fuck up loads, but I'm sure there's going to be some really cool things that we wouldn't have done otherwise. In the same way that Portals was created because of the weird world that we were in. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with Twitch. Because, you know, have a look at what even people like Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park, he's got a channel and he does, he's written an album on there, released an album. That's awesome. I mean, maybe we'll do the same. I'm not suggesting it will be TesseracT as such, but it will probably fit into this kind of brand that we're building, which is TesseracT Presents, which is just whatever the creative output is of the band as a collective.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really cool sort of umbrella to work under because it gives us a platform for exposure, but it also affords us the freedom to kind of be really creative, which is kind of where we all want to sit in. We all want to have that umbrella of support that allows us just to be creative. It's going to be wonderful to see where we go with that. Like I say, it could be shit, but
no, it's not going to be. It's going to be great because I mean, you guys know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
This might expose us.
There you go. See, no, I haven't dabbled in the whole Twitch thing yet, but I've spoken to heaps of dudes that have, and it's just a whole new world. I think it's going to be exciting, especially, you know, talking about interacting with fans and stuff like that. Maybe even to the point of getting them to contribute musically in some way and jamming with people.
Well, I mean, it is a community thing. First and foremost, it's about building your building the community that the fans want to build, and you're basically an excuse for them to meet. So that's intriguing. I've not really seen things like that. Obviously, people go to gigs, they go with friends, but imagine being able to talk to everybody that's at the gig, or being able to, I mean, it may be a bad thing. You suddenly realize, oh my God, all these guys are idiots. What am I doing here? Well, I mean, especially when you can suddenly talk to the band as well. That's a whole cloud of mystery that we like to keep up. And when you suddenly realize that these guys are morons, perhaps you won't like the band anymore. But maybe you'll find the moronic behavior endearing. Let's find out.
People love that, though. People love that. You know, there's for years and years, it was like so many bands kept that mystery, you know?
Yeah.
And then it seemed to have flipped over the last few years. People want to see what you're having for breakfast, you know?
I woke up 25 minutes before my first interview today, so here's my breakfast.
Oh, what are you bunging on? What's that?
Yeah, so I just had some chocolate shreddies, and I kicked over a glass of wine from last night and during the first interview. I was like, what am I doing with my fucking life? You know, I knew this was happening, but still, I sunk a bottle of wine last night whilst talking to the band about many things. So yeah, that was musicians never grow up. We're always perpetually 18.
That's it. It's true. I'm 40 and I'm still doing all this thing. And
it's great.
You know?
It's great, man. You know, live the life you can, basically.
That's it. That's it. And you pass it on to you. I got kids, or I got a granddaughter as well, and yeah,
Oh,
and crazy shit. But it keeps me young.
yes.
That's what it's about, man. The jamming and keeping it rolling. But hey, you been writing? Have you guys been? I know it's hard because you're not all in the one room, but talking about technology.
Well, this is it I mean, I was in China for 4.5 years, and that meant that not only was it difficult to be in the same room, but we found it very difficult to find the same time that would work. So we developed a process of writing online where we would share demos, and having digital capacity for connection means that we can do that now. There's almost the technology where we can do that live with each other. So we're going to see how that works out, because Jay, our drummer, is in Austin, Texas. That does mean that there's a bit of a delay between the two, between European servers and North American servers. But things like 5G and fiber, we're almost there. We just need just a little bit of shaving of the latency, and we're nearly at a point where we can do things separately but at the same time. But we're going to see what we can do to get as close to that as possible, and that's almost been what this whole development in lockdown was about, which was just trying to get us in the same virtual space. But we have been writing. We've got good 45 minutes worth of demos, and we're hoping that over the next sort of 6 months we'll get I'd like to have another 45 minutes, and we can then cut away and just give the best hour, but we'll see. We never forced that out. I mean, look at the length of our last album. It was roughly, I think, 35 minutes, which pissed a lot of people off. But at the same time, if we were to have given you the other stuff that could have been on that album, it wouldn't have been a good album. And I think people loved what we put out. So
it was awesome.
We will only give the A grade stuff from our perspective, and if that means a shorter album, that's a shorter album. But I'm hoping that we've at least got 45 minutes, and that we'll end up with an hour when we get the album out next year, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, dude. Because but you're right. I'm not a big fan of really long albums where it's just like, here's a little sample and here's another little sample, and then you've got this real long song, and then it just draws out. It's like 18 tracks long. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it's tough, isn't it? Now there's so many things going on in people's lives. This is why we kind of structured Portals the way we did as well. We're thinking people are watching this, but they've also got their phones handy. They've also got the distractions of life. Let's give them shorter chunks of music and then split that up with the narrative. And I think it worked really well. I don't think that would work on stage, but I think as a streamed performance, as a film performance, it was a really nice way to pace it. And I'm intrigued to see how we can develop that in the future.
Is it something you definitely want to revisit? Maybe make a sequel?
Not so much a sequel, although we'll definitely do a streamed show like this that's a performance. But we put so much into Portals that the stuff, it'd be hard for us to deliver a set list that we are as happy with. I mean, the songs are there, but they're not like necessarily all the songs that we enjoy playing so much. But we are working on something different. I don't quite understand what that's going to be yet, but we started writing as soon as Portals was released. When I say writing, I mean narrative. I don't mean audio. But I don't know how that's going to take form or what form that's going to be. And I don't care. It's fun to see where it's going to go. But because it's not an album, it could be anything. And it could be a film, but then we're a band. Would people want to see a film made by a band?
Yes. Yes. Well, I would, you know what? If Portals was showing at my local cinema, I would pay money to go and see that.
That's really nice to hear. That's very encouraging because the things that we're planning are fucking wild. And I just don't know. It's basically a film version of the concept of the album. But whether that happens or not is another thing. There's so many hoops to jump through to get to that point. You know, not the least being the budget. How do you pay for these things? It's Portals cost a lot of money to put together. It made a lot of money, so that's great. But we don't know if something that doesn't necessarily have a performance element in it would work in the same way. So we have to try to. We can experiment to a certain degree, but reality kicks you in the butt sometimes, and maybe we can do it. I really have no idea. So I'm quite. But then, you know what? That's what was with Portals.
Yep.
We didn't know if we could pull the thing off. But I think being in that unsteady ground is where some of the most creative things, some of the most successfully creative things happen. So let's we'll keep running down this hill and see what happens.
Mate, keep doing it, and we're all super excited. I'm super excited about it. As I said, I would have paid money to see it on the big screen, but I'm just going to take it to my mate who's got like a big projector thing, and I'm gonna be like, we're watching this. Have some beers, JD. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I want to do. You know, I want to experience. I've heard it. I've listened to it, but I want to. I guess I don't want to be spoiled by it. I want to visually see the whole thing. I've seen little snippets, but I think it's worth going. Everyone out there, I'm going to point at I do this thing where I point to random people out there that I don't know they're watching. Go and buy it and experience it from start to finish. That's how it's meant to be, right?
It is a journey. It's so much fun for us to see. So I really hope that is reflected in. I really hope the audience experiences that as well, and the people that watched the initial stream, we were blown away by the response. So I think you're going to enjoy it.
Was that part of the reason why you decided to release it in a physical form? You had a lot of people.
People were like, "You've got to do this, man. You have to release this." So yeah, we at the label looked at it and just went, "This is a no-brainer." You know, especially for them, the people where they almost have like a direct to audience model. So they knew if they were to build a special a deluxe version and vinyl version thing, they knew that that's what would work well for the audience, and it has worked well. Yeah, I'm really, really surprised and really encouraged by knowing that the level of work that went into it has been embraced.
And it's gonna keep going. One more thing I wanted to ask you about. You know, TesseracT was around before the Marvel movies, but every time I watch a Marvel movie now and they mention TesseracT, I only think of the band.
Genius marketing, isn't it?
No, you were there before, you know?
Yeah.
Have you noticed, have people gone, you know, am I the only one ever said that?
Well, the interesting thing is so obviously the name TesseracT was around before the first, I think it was Captain America was the first movie.
Yeah. That's the one.
And it wasn't called the Tesseract until I think it was called the Cosmic Cube. But I mean, that wouldn't have gone down too well in contemporary audiences. And thank God we're not called Cosmic Cube. That would be hilarious.
The code name.
Yes, that's true. Actually, if we ever want to do a secret gig, we used to call it Hypercube. No, we've got to change it now. We're going to do a Cosmic Cube. That'll be our secret gig. You have to dress up as a wizard, though. You know.
Mate, I would be there. I would be there, dressed as a wizard.
Supported by the wizard sleeve. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah, we've always kind of found it fun. I mean, and it seems that whatever we do, there's some form of, you will find something in the Marvel universe that could be construed as, oh, we're copying that or we're utilizing that. But I think it's just one of those things. We're kind of geeky, kind of pseudoscience and pseudo spiritual in our inspirations with the things that we're looking for, that subconscious connection. And I think that's something that Marvel does very well, you know, and their universe is so huge that any element of that is going to be brought up because these stories are all universal. They're shared. It's just a shame that, well, it's actually not a shame. It's helped, I think, in many respects that we, every time they release a movie, we're there.
See, that's it. It's like there should be a little counter, and that's where Disney backs up that money truck.
Oh yeah, that'd be right.
Like, hey, they'll, I don't know.
It's a shame that they never came to us for a bit of music. That would have been fun, but who knows? Maybe we'll meet somebody on the board there at some point, and we'll make it happen.
Is his name Kevin Feige? That's his name?
No, I've not got into it at all.
That's the dude.
Cool. I'll start
dude.
him on
Just
Twitter.
get him on the phone and be like, listen, mate, you got all this, you got 20 years mapped out.
Yeah.
We can do some stuff.
I reckon we could do something for Kang the Conqueror.
Oh,
I reckon we could do a good song for him. That'd be good. That
gels so well, dude. Because obviously you've seen Loki.
Yes. Well, and then I know what's coming in the next Doctor Strange movie. So
yeah, man, that would work so damn well. I reckon you totally should. You should just write it and send it to him and say,
shouldn't we? Yeah.
Here it is. Here's Kang's.
And that would cement anybody's belief that we are basically just ripping off Iron Man and things like that constantly. But no, we're not.
Mate, it's been awesome hanging out with you. Thanks. I know it's your morning, your breakfast, but it's been awesome talking all things TesseracT and nerdy stuff and music. And brother, I really hope you and the boys stay safe and well and get your asses down to Australia very, very, very soon.
Yeah, we love the place. It'd be so good to be back.
I'll keep the beers cold, mate. Or the wine. You're more of a wine dude, aren't you?
I am a wine dude, yeah. But the rest of the guys like the beer, so it's all good.
Well, we'll have both. Dude, thank you so much for hanging, and we'll have all the links down here. Stay safe, dude.
All right, man. Take care of yourself. See you next time.
Man. See you, bye.